What are the long-term ramifications of Michael Bennett's suspension, and just how much longer will he be on the Patriots? I'm Alex Barth, joined by Evan Lazar. This is the Patriots Press Pass from Gillette Stadium. Evan, let's start with the first part. Bennett's suspended. He won't play this week. Not much of a notable absence considering how little he's played in recent weeks.
Sure.
Why isn't he getting on the field?
Well, really, I think it's a schematic issue right now with Michael Bennett. It's a scheme fit thing, as they say, right? Biggest thing is the Patriots are in two primary fronts right now. They're in a 3-4 front with all linebackers, right? You got 3 down linemen. Michael Bennett's not a three down player. He's not a 30 front player. He's not going to 2-gap. He's not going to hold at the point of attack. He's not going to push the pocket. He wants to shoot gaps and get upfield. So 3-4 defense, that's not his fit. Where he's a fit is in a 4-3, but the Patriots are using what's called an X front right now when they go to a 40 front, where they have 2 interior defenders and then they have 2 outside linebackers in 2-point stances. Because of the play of Kyle Van Noy, because of the play of Chase Winovich and Jamie Collins, they're getting their most talented players on the field right now in those linebackers. So in the 40 fronts, he's not playing a 4-3 end. He's not able to kick inside because they need guys that are stouter against the run in those looks. In the 3-4 front, he's not a 2-gapper. He's not a guy that's going to hold at the point of attack. There's really just no place for him to play. But that said, I think that later on in the season, the Patriots, as we know, are a very game plan specific team, right? And at some point later in the season, there could be a matchup where they decide a true 4-3 front is the way to go. 4 down linemen. That is when Michael Bennett can be effective and can be useful. So the question is, in terms of a trade, which we're going to get to in a second, is does Bill Belichick believe there's a matchup or two on their schedule in the future, whether it's the regular season or the playoffs, where they might need to run a true 4-3? Or does he feel like that's never going to happen? If it's never going to happen, then I would start shopping Michael Bennett.
Although you have to remember in that, let's say Bill Belichick does want to keep him around. Can you keep him around? Is he going to be a problem? Is he going to continue to cause issues due to his lack of playing time? And even if there is a spot down the road where he thinks they need a 4-3, does he think it's better off, okay, well, we can get by with Dietrich Wise if it means not having the headache of Michael Bennett in our locker room? This edition of Patriots Press Pass is brought to you by Keeps.com. If you want to take the first steps against hair loss, visit Keeps.com/garden for your first month free. That's Keeps, KEEPS.com/garden for your first month free. So you just kind of hinted at it, but the main point I want to get to right now with the trade deadline looming, and we've discussed possibilities of who the Patriots could bring in earlier this week. You can check those videos out on CLNSmedia.com. Bennett's been discussed as possible trade bait if they don't want to trade a pick. What exactly is his value right now?
I don't think his value is all that high because 2 things. One, you need to trade him to a contender that is also going to use him properly. This was a peculiar kind of trade, really, when you look back on it in the first place, because Bennett is not really their type of cup of tea at the defensive line, right? He's really not their type of defensive end. So similarly, you have to look around the league and see, okay, what teams is he a scheme fit for? Could he go back to Seattle? Because that's obviously a fit. Atlanta would be a fit for him too, but is Atlanta looking to acquire and bring on salary when their season is kind of spiraling
Although it is worth noting, there is another year of control in Bennett's contract.
Right, which is not a good thing, I don't think, in this case, because it's a lot of money.
Well, if it's a team like Atlanta who thinks they can turn it around.
I guess that's true, but he's due about $10 million next season on his contract next year on the cap. I think that's a lot of money for a team that's really, looking to acquire a player to maybe help them right now in the short term. Big thing, though, is for the Patriots, maybe they could dump him to a contender and just have it be a pick for trade, pick for player swap, and go elsewhere for the trade that they're looking for to add to their roster right now. So you trade him to, let's say, you do trade him back to Seattle. You don't ask Seattle for a wide receiver back. You get a 6th-round pick back for Michael Bennett, and then you go and you make a trade with the $2.2 million in salary cap space it's going to save you by going out and getting a wide receiver from another team.
So you think,
or a tight end or a tackle or whatever.
Bennett for a player, probably not going to happen.
I don't think that's really that realistic because I don't think his value is all that much there, and you have a very select few of teams that are going to be looking to acquire him. And if you're a contender, are you really going to trade away a useful player on your team for Michael Bennett? I just don't see it.
What if there's a team that is just a team that's not a contender but is trying to unload a player. The Bengals have a similar situation with the Patriots have with Michael Bennett and Cordy Glenn. He just got suspended.
Right.
The Patriots need a tackle. Could that be something?
Maybe. I think Cordy Glenn is another overpriced player, to be honest with you. I think the biggest thing for Bennett is that salary cap savings, right?
Yep.
So if they trade him by the deadline, they can save about $2.3 million against the cap. That would bring them to a comfortable cap number to go out and make a move for another player. So I really think that if they're going to dump Michael Bennett, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yep.
It's going to be a strict salary dump. They'll get what they can get back. They only gave a fifth, and they got a seventh back for Bennett.
Yep.
So essentially, if they can get a sixth-round pick in return for Bennett, they've netted zero on that trade, right? You know, they haven't lost any ground on that trade. So that's what I would look for, and then maybe look elsewhere for help.
So we will see. What do you think the Patriots should do for Michael Bennett? Who would you maybe call to offer him to in a trade? Let us know in the comments. This edition of Patriots Press Pass has been brought to you by Keeps. Check out Keeps.com to take the first steps against hair loss. That's KEEPS.com/garden for the first steps against hair loss. For Evan Lazar, I'm Alex Barth from Gillette Stadium. Thanks for watching.